Welcome to September. You know what that means in Phoenix, right? Pumpkin spice lattes and tailgating in 95-degree weather. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. I know. I'm rocking my Larry Fitzgerald. He hasn't shown up yet this season. We can only hope, right? But football season's coming. We have a whole bunch of other things coming too. In this market update, we have so much to cover, so stick around for the whole thing because there is a lot of real estate news going on right now. So welcome to my September Phoenix Metro housing market update. I am Maegann Yarbrough, your AZ real estate geek. I'm a realtor with eXp Realty. We have so much to cover today. I'm so excited to share some information with you. I've got some new tools that I'm working on and learning so I can make these videos even better for you in the future with graphs and charts and images, just to make things a little more fun and interesting. And as you can see, I also have a new subscribe button. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Yeah. So be sure to hit that little red button and the little bell. I'd really, really appreciate it. Right now, let's go into the numbers. These statistics are coming from the Arizona Regional Multiple Listing Service, the ARMLS. So these numbers cover everywhere that the Arizona Regional MLS covers, which is mostly Maricopa County. And these represent all the sales that happened in August. In the month of August, we had 9,054 sold homes. I took a little dip from July, which was a little over 9,100. And we're still lower than we were last year in August, which we had 9,213 sold listings. The median sales price did take a big jump up this last month. So in August, our median sales price was $450,000. That is a big jump from the $400,500 median sales price that we had in July, and an even bigger jump from our median price in August of 2020, which was $315,000. And I am watching some of the trends, and I think one of the reasons that we had such a big jump is because we have a decline in inventory that's being sold under the $500,000 price range. So we have a huge increase in price, especially price per square foot in cities like Carefree and Paradise Valley. So a lot more of those luxury homes, the over $800,000 homes, those homes are selling really well. And I think that's bringing the median price up quite a bit over what we're normally expecting. The problem is we're just not getting the under $500,000 inventory that would help mellow that out a little bit. And we're going to talk about that in just a bit, what's going on with our lower priced inventory homes. The average sales price is a little over $490,000, which is down a little bit from the $498,000 average price point we saw last month. But that is a big jump up from the $401,000 price point we had in August of last year. We had 10,879 new listings in August, and August was a really weird month for new listings. It was like the first 2 weeks in August, we had all these brand new listings coming in, and everybody was talking about how the market is finally softening because inventory is coming back, but after that first 2 weeks, it just kind of like went stale. So we're not seeing that softening that everybody was predicting. We'll keep an eye on it. We are moving into the fall and winter season where we see less new inventory in general year over year. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that is comparable to last year. We had 10,877 new listings of August in 2020. That was a big ramp up last year because during the summer, listings were pretty stale because we were in the throes of COVID. We were in lockdown, and by August, a lot of that opened up and people were getting their homes on the market. So we're looking pretty much the same as we did last year. We'll just keep seeing what's going to happen with the new listings. We need more inventory, right? In August, we had 10,753 active listings. So those were listings that did not quite go under contract by the time it rolled into September. That is up from the 9,600 active listings that were in July. But we did take a little dip compared to last year. In August of 2020, we were at 11,187 active listings. We had 7,100 pending listings in August. That means that these were properties that were under contract by the time we rolled into September. That is down from August of last year, where we had 9,963 pending listings. Our average days on market stayed pretty much the same the last couple of months. We're at 27 days for the average days on market. That's how long a property is on the MLS before it is pending and closed. Compare that to August of 2020, where our average days of market were about 49 days. Our absorption rate is pretty much exactly the same as it was last month. We're at 1.14 months. That means of all the inventory that we have on the market, if no new inventory comes, we will sell out of houses in the whole Phoenix metro area in a little over a month. We have seen some very interesting changes in our sold to list ratio. In August, it was 101%. In July, it was 102%. In June, it was 103%. So what this means is that people are dropping their prices on how they're selling the homes. So the market is a seller's market right now. So sellers are trying to get premium dollars for their property. So many of them are choosing to list it as high as they can and try to get the best offer. But buyers are not biting some of the time. Sometimes it's just priced too ridiculously high. It stays on the market for a week or two, and then they have to reduce their price on the MLS so they can attract those buyers. What we're seeing with that too is that a lot of these price reductions are coming from the fix and flippers. So especially your iBuyers like Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, they are buying these properties ideally at a low price and then reselling them and trying to make a profit off of that. They are not getting the premium prices they were expecting, and they're dropping their prices. I am seeing a lot of these properties being sold by these fix and flip iBuyers that are less than what they purchased the property for. So that's really interesting. And that's going back to that sweet spot of affordable homes that are in the $300,000 to $500,000 range. The iBuyers are in that range. They want to stay actually under the $400,000 homes, which is the homes that some of our first-time buyers or our second resale buyers are trying to get into, and they're kind of getting undercut by these iBuyers right now. The iBuyers are back in full force, so we're seeing a lot of that. But we'll have to see what their margins are looking like. Is this profitable enough for them to buy these homes at these high market values and trying to resell them for even higher market values? According to Mortgage Daily News, as of today, which is September 2nd, the current average interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 2.92%. So mortgage rates are still at an incredible low rate. You can take advantage of that. Mortgage applications are still going back up again, so people are out there still buying, still trying to buy. And if you are somebody who thought that you could not buy a home because you were disqualified in the past for a mortgage, I've got some big news coming up for you on that too, so stay tuned for that. The ARMLS rent check, this is all the rentals that were in the MLS in the past month. The median lease in rentals was $2,000, which is up about $25 since last month. The average lease is $2,207 a month, which is up about $50 from last month. Some local Arizona news for you. So we got a lot of new census information in, and man, Phoenix is just kicking it out of the park. Maricopa County added more residents than any other county in the country. Can you believe that? We are still growing by leaps and bounds. I think they're estimating something like 350 new residents a month come to Maricopa County. On the west side, Buckeye is the fastest growing city in the country. Buckeye. And we're going to talk more about Buckeye in a minute too, because there are some big things going on in Buckeye. Over in the southeast, Queen Creek showed the highest population growth and housing growth in the state by percentage. So it was something like 129%. It was pretty crazy there. And as you know, Phoenix is the largest city in the state of Arizona. That's followed by Tucson, then Mesa, then Chandler. Gilbert is now the 5th largest municipality in the state of Arizona. It surpassed Scottsdale and Glendale. So let's go back to Buckeye. I heard the godfather of Arizona sports, Jerry Colangelo, had met with some people yesterday, I believe, to talk about his project out on the west side called Douglas Ranch. Douglas Ranch will be a 37,000 acre master plan community that is supposed to be this amazing spot. It's going to house something like 300,000 people in what's going to be a $10 billion project. Buckeye is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next 20 years, considering they are only at 5% of build out of what Buckeye can be. We have a lot of the technology companies coming out here, and they are looking over where Buckeye is because of the space and for the population growth that is going to be there to bring jobs and revenue. But that just blew my mind. I did not know. 5% of build out, and Buckeye is getting to be a very trending spot. So if you're looking on the west side, look at Buckeye. Over in North Phoenix, we are bringing in a Taiwanese semiconductor company, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They're a semiconductor company, and they are the world's largest chip maker, providing chips for companies like Apple. They're putting together a $12 billion campus in North Phoenix. They've already broken ground. They're working on it right now. But besides this campus that's going to take several years to complete, it will also be bringing in suppliers and other jobs. So, man, there's going to be some major employment growth in North Phoenix, too. I mean, that is one of the things that draws people to Arizona is the job growth, and we are just killing it with technology. I hope I can just do a whole video on all the technology employers that we have in Phoenix. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below, and I can see if I can put that together for you, because I went down a rabbit hole with this, and I couldn't even shrink it down to this video. In national news, and we're going back to that, if you haven't qualified for a mortgage before, stay tuned. Well, if you're still listening, this is big, big news. The Federal Housing Finance Agency just recently announced that they are going to let Fannie Mae use rent payment history as part of their risk assessment and underwriting process. This is huge news. I mean, and I don't know why it didn't happen sooner, because it's so logical. If you're paying $1,800 for rent, how come you are getting disqualified for a $1,500 a month mortgage? It just doesn't make sense. But if you're showing a history of on-time payments of rent, that is an excellent indicator that you're going to pay your mortgage on time, right? So this just came down. It was just announced, I think, 2 weeks ago maybe. But this is big news. So if you thought that you could not qualify for a mortgage, but you are a person who pays their rent on time religiously, take a look at that option through Fannie Mae. As they keep going back and forth on the foreclosure moratorium, they're kind of looking at the risks of people that are in a delinquent status and what the potential foreclosures are going to look like here in the next few months. It's, from what I've been seeing, a lot of the people, especially through the pandemic, have been going through a forbearance process where either almost all of them are caught up with their forbearance, or their forbearance was like tacked on at the end of their mortgage. You don't see a lot of delinquencies over 90 days that are going into the foreclosure process. So a lot of people thought that once this moratorium ended, that we were going to see a flood of foreclosures, and that's just not the case. It's so minuscule. I think they're looking at like a 3% delinquency rate right now, where the national average over time is about a 1%. So there's not going to be this huge big boom of foreclosures like people were seeing back in 2008, 2009, 2010, like that period of time. One of the reasons, too, that we kind of talked about with that sweet spot, they're going to be those bread and butter houses, those $300,000 to $500,000 homes. When you have someone that's probably in a delinquent status with that, back in the day, now in 2008, that is when I got my real estate license, the only things I knew back then were short sales and foreclosures. That's what I cut my teeth on. That's all I knew. And my job at that point was to reach out to people who were delinquent and help them into a short sale situation so they could avoid foreclosure. But the one thing we have now that we didn't have back then were the iBuyers. You got the Zillow and the Open Door and the OfferPad and the Homie and all of them, right? So if you have someone that's in a delinquent status that looks like they are staring down the barrel of a foreclosure, two things are different right now. Number one is the buyer probably has equity in their house, so they're not necessarily needing a short sale. They probably have equity. If they sold their house, they could probably still walk away with some cash. Number two, you have the iBuyers that come in, give them a quick cash deal so that they can avoid the foreclosure process right away, still have some equity in their house, and move on. So we are not going to see as many short sales and foreclosures as we did back in the day. I know this moratorium thing, kind of everyone's like, oh, watch out for the foreclosures, but the numbers are showing it's just not going to happen. And speaking of moratoriums, so we have also the Supreme Court voting against the eviction moratorium that the CDC had put in place for the pandemic. Of course, this is going to have mixed views for people. For one, you have the landlords and the owners of these homes that, they need to get paid so that they can pay their mortgages, right? But we also have people that are having problems getting out there in the workforce because we still are in the grip of a giant disease. So there is a lot of assistance programs. I know there's a couple that are actually sponsored by HUD to give people rental assistance during this time. From what I've heard, Arizona actually has one of the best run websites for that, so you can actually get those funds, and I'll put that link in the description below for anybody that might need that. So take a look at that if you are struggling with making those rent payments now that the eviction moratorium is now over as well. So yeah, lots of news, right, guys? I have so much news. I'm going to try to get more market updates out to you because every time I see a new article, I just want to share something with you guys, and waiting just once a month to share it with you is not enough. But I also have some new toys and tools I want to play with. So again, if you want to see some of the new stuff coming up that I'll be doing, be sure to click that subscribe button. Oh, there's my button again. Isn't that great? Doesn't that look good? Let me know in the comments what you think of the button. Let me know what you think of some of this interesting growth that we have in the Phoenix Valley, how fast we're growing, how we are just a force to be reckoned with in the nation. Also, if you subscribe to my channel, now that the weather is cooling off, you're going to see a lot more neighborhood tours, a lot of out and about in Phoenix, so you get to see what it's like to be in downtown Gilbert or at a football game or something like that. So I'm going to have a lot more of those videos up for you too. And if there's any other videos that you guys want to see, be sure to put those in the comments below too, because I will go out there and film them for you. Share them with the world. And I can't wait to get some more of these new videos out now that the weather is getting cooler, and you'll probably see one with me at a football game. We'll see what happens. I don't know. The big event things we're still working on. But I want to bring a lot more Arizona to you so that you can explore Arizona from the comfort of your own home. Until next time, stay geeky, my friends.